What's up, YouTube? With internships approaching, I wanted to sit down with some rock stars who turned their internship into a job. My hope is that their perspective can ease your mind as you enter your upcoming internship.
I think work ethic, honestly, above anything else, like skill set aside, it's like having that passion and that fire and just really being eager, every single day coming in and just being like, how can I help? What can I do? I want to get my hands dirty. Oh, you got a nice book, like that's great, but I don't know, you can't teach the fire.
I definitely recommend to observe, see how people are interacting, how people dress, how people work with each other.
I think somebody who's adaptable and just acts as like a resource to other people, just because you never know what idea might kind of come across from whoever. When you're an intern, you have a lot of doubt, and you just want kind of somebody to be there to kind of listen to your ideas and listen to your concepts.
But I think the good thing to remember is like you're here for a reason. Obviously stay humble, but understanding that they want you to be here, like we want as a company for interns to be here, so don't be scared and like don't talk yourself out of things and intimidate yourself, because no one here is actually intimidating.
If you are gonna go to happy hours, which you should, just don't get too sloppy. I think that's an obvious one, but it's easy to do.
Of course, ask questions. I think that's one of the things that as an intern, you don't realize, like you have a lot of internal questions that might be cycling through your mind, and you don't ask them. In agencies, everybody's willing to talk, so you'll eventually find somebody that will kind of pull you aside and say, here's how it goes.
Everybody's been there. Yeah. Honestly, everybody's been at a starting point. There are some people, that are like, just inherently have that raw talent, but they still started somewhere. And so they see that, and if they see you wanting to learn and get better and stuff, like that's all you need. They don't expect you to like know everything at the beginning.
Make it known that you want to be there full time and that you're prepared for that and you're excited for that. Just knowing that you want to be there is like a good start, and then putting in the effort to back it up is how you get there.
How can you basically become not just invaluable, but just contribute to the team?
Make yourself irreplaceable. And so for me, when I first started on the Pizza Hut team, I tried to keep every day trying to get a little more responsibility and a little more involved in everything, and kind of, you have to earn trust. I mean, you have to do it with anything, and just kind of prove myself little by little until slowly I think they started relying on me and depending on me. And then it was like, oh, I'm part of the team. Oh, they might miss me when I'm gone. And if you can make that void, that's going to really help you, because then they're not going to want you to leave.
I think it's easy to just like lean on your fellow interns and get used to just hanging out with them and going to lunch with them. But I highly recommend trying to form relationships with people that are working in the agency full time, and trying to like get on their level if that's possible, and just spending time with them.
Finding the right fit as far as agency and team for sure. And then availability hopefully comes along the way.
As much as the company's deciding if they like you, it's your time to decide if you like the company too, because it's got to be a mutual connection. And an internship is the time to figure out if this is where you want to be. It's like a test run. I mean, not everybody gets that if you're getting hired like full time. Don't take yourself too seriously on that first day, or don't take the day too seriously, because it's going to be an overload. I remember I was exhausted after that first day, but it is kind of a chance to start making some impressions and just take it all in. But don't worry about like, oh, I didn't smile for 10 minutes when they were looking at me. Just try to show them who you are and kind of show your personality, but take it in stride and realize like at the end of the day, it's a day.
Everybody's had the same type of feeling that you're going through right now. We've all gone through internships, former jobs and things like that when we first started out, where you don't really know what you're doing, you're just there to learn and kind of absorb as much as you can, but just know that even the best people in your field started where you are now.
You have to like get through that awkward phase and just kind of do it as gracefully as you can, and lean on people that are working within the agency for support, and just kind of take their lead.
You were hand selected, you were interviewed, your book was looked at, like you're important to the company, and they chose to offer that to you because they want you here as much as you want to be here. And so if you can remind yourself of that and not get too freaked out and be like, oh God, I don't deserve to be here, you do. So just remind yourself, and it'll make it a whole lot easier.
Expect the unexpected and you'll never be surprised. I always like, that quote, but it's honestly, a real truth for a lot of interns, especially the ones that, that I was partnered up with, is that you never know what's going to come in through the door or what opportunities are going to kind of fall, under your scope. They are hiring you to kind of contribute new and fresh thinking. And I think when you realize that, it kind of eases the pressure a little bit.
Faster timelines. Realistically, that is the main thing that I notice, the main thing I see every time I see interns come through. You don't have a month for a project. You don't have, honestly, a week a lot of the times for projects. Especially, I come from a much more high-paced client than some, but that was something I really noticed, that it was, the sooner you can just kind of accept that and just be like, hey, it's just a different challenge. It's a different way of thinking, and kind of try to apply what you know that you were able to do in a month. Once you can prove to yourself you can do it in a shorter amount of time, it actually does build up your confidence. But I think that's a big thing that people don't necessarily expect. They hear it, but it's different when you're in it.
Everything you're doing is pretty much as a team, and when you actually become a full-time employee, it's the same thing. So you have to work as a team, and everything that a team can make is better than what an individual can do.
It takes time. You gotta let yourself grow and let yourself kind of root in your skills, and know that you know what you're doing when it really comes down to it. But there's going to be things you don't know, and that's why you have a team.